Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Two Shores, One Story. I'm your host, Matthew. How are you doing? I am exhausted. Why, you might ask? Today was my last day working at the BOE. ALTs in my area will work at one specific office while schools are closed. For some reason, we still have to work even though schools are closed. I think it's because we are technically hired by, or we are municipal workers. So we have to follow the municipal time as well. So people that work in town office or that kind of stuff, they will work and we have to as well. But our supervisor is nice because we only have to do 3 hours in the morning. So I just read a book. I'm working on, maybe I talked about this book before, but I'm reading Inori no Karute. Karute means like a chart or like an x-ray that a doctor will look at. Inori means pray or to wish. So maybe I actually don't know how to translate it, but it's a very interesting book in that you follow one character. I don't really know his name, but he is a research doctor. So he's finished school and he's learning different sections, maybe. Is that how you would say it? Different sections of hospital work. So for example, he was in psychology and then he went to pediatrician work. What's the noun of pediatrician? I don't know. If you know, please let me know because I don't know. But he went with a pediatric doctor. Goodness gracious. And right now, what I'm reading is that he's in a circulation department. That's the word, department, not section. Department of circulation. And it's a kind of a mystery in each chapter in that he has to figure out why they're here or maybe what the people connected to the patient are, who they are. It's really interesting. So I'm quite enjoying it. Yeah, but that was my day, at least in the morning. And then I went to the gym and that was good. I then came home and I decided that I wanted to clean my house, which is where things turned bad. Yesterday, on Sunday, I cleaned for an hour and it was great. I had a great day on Sunday. I cleaned my bookshelf in my room. It was just so disorganized and there were so many papers that I had, like gas spills and whatever. So I just needed to get that sorted and I did. And it's so much better. So I thought that it would be like that today, but no, it was terrible. So let me go through what happened. So first I started cleaning some of the dishes in my sink. I didn't have that much. I emptied the dishes from my sink or my dish holder, just dish dryer, I guess that's what you can call it, because I needed to clean my counter. So I did that. I cleaned my counter and I didn't have any of my normal kitchen cleaner solution. So I used some kabi killer. Kabi is mold and it works the same. It's basically a bleach, so it works fine. And it did the job. So it cleaned. It looks fine. And then in my sink, there is a kind of food catcher. And then below that is something else. I don't even know what to describe it, but it kind of plugs up so that if extra food or whatever doesn't quite make it, it won't go in the drain. But it smelled. That whole, inside the sink stunk so bad. So I had to clean that. So I have a little plastic bucket that's actually used to put water on yourself, but I use it as a bucket for that kind of stuff. So I put that in there. I put kabi killer and I just leave it because it's terrible. And then I was like, well, I have time, and I put some bleach, little they They look like mints, but they're not mints. They're little bleach tablets, and you can put in your drain, and you leave them for 30 minutes, and then you can rinse them out later. So I did that in the kitchen. I cleaned the sink in my bathroom because it was nasty as well, and I put bleach there. And then I was in my bedroom, and I don't know, I think I just got distracted because I saw that I have in my bedroom, there's 2 closets. There's one that's quite big, and that's, I think, for bedding, but I have most of my clothes there. And then there's a smaller closet, which has my work pants and my work clothes, which includes my suit in it. And it's hanging on like a shower rod that I don't know who decided, but I've had problems with this shower rod. Sometimes it will just fall, even though I make sure to put it on there quite, like, it's pretty solid, at least I think. But over time, the right side I can see go down, and that's what I saw this time. So I thought I could prevent it from falling. So I fixed it, but then it fell. And I just got so mad that I decided to reorganize my whole entire closet because I was so upset. Has this happened to you? I don't know, but it's happened to me today. I was so upset. So I take all my clothes off and so I didn't explain, but in my other one, I have like a shelf, and I got this thing from Nitori, which is a home center store, and I got this really, really nice clothes hanger. I don't know how to describe it, but there's 2 horizontal rods. You can adjust it. There's also 2 on each side that you can extend as well. So it's a really, really nice one that you can get from Nitori. I highly suggest it. But I had to take all my clothes off. I have like a container of socks and my underwear, so I took that away. I cleaned. I found a dead cockroach that I had to clean up. That was fun. And after everything was on my bed, I also have bedding in my closet as well, so I took that away, put that on the bed. And then there was some, dust and stuff, so I went to go get the vacuum, and I don't have the right attachment, and I just can't. I've never been able to find it. This, like a brush attachment. So I ended up cleaning my closet in my living room that has a bunch of crap in it from the predecessors. So I cleaned and organized that. I found the brush attachment that I wanted. I found another vacuum in the closet that I've never used. I don't know why it's there because there's 2. And there's just a bunch of boxes that aren't needed. I bought myself an iron because I didn't think that there would be anything, and I needed an iron for seeing the mayor and blah, blah, blah when I first got here. So I have an extra iron. I have a mop that I got from an ALT that was leaving, and I never used it, so I decided to give those away. And thank gosh an ALT did want those, so great for that. But I organized that, and then I had to go back to my room. I cleaned the dust. I cleaned that. And then I had to resort everything in my closet. It's all sorted. It doesn't look the best, but functionally it works, and all my clothes are on one hanger and it won't fall. And then I put my bedding in the closet that is no longer being used for clothes. So hooray for that. But then I had to go. I was so tired. I was sweaty because it's still summer. I didn't have the aircon because I didn't want to use it, but I had all the windows open. I thought it'd be refreshing. No, it wasn't. And then I was so ready to eat, but I had to make rice, and I had to clean the sink stuff, and it was gross, disgusting, but I did it. And then I made chicken, and then I went to get my broccoli because I usually have chicken and rice and broccoli. Just my go-to diet meal. It's pretty easy. It's good for calorie deficit. And I went to go into the freezer to find the broccoli, and I find my rice cube tray. I think I talked about this before, but I have a rice cube tray. Basically, you can put your rice in it and then it freezes really nice. It's all in blocks. There's 5. I love it. But I already made rice and I didn't know. Ugh. So that sucked. And I didn't have any broccoli. So that was a little bit unfortunate day. But I enjoyed the rice and chicken. And we'll get some broccoli tomorrow. But anyways, I don't really want to talk about just today, but that was just a little bit of information for you on what my day was like today. Today is the kind of last day of working at the BOE, so starting tomorrow, I will resume working at school and it will be normal hours. And then next day, the day after that, I will be a judge for the speech contest that happens in Takayama. So that is exciting. But yeah, I actually wanted to talk about my amazing Bon Odori Yasumi, which for me started on Friday last week. Friday last week, shall I say. So for those who know, I did talk about it last week. I took the business Japanese test and I decided to take that test in Nagoya. You can take it in many cities like Gifu, Kanazawa, Toyama, Nagoya. You can take it in many cities, but I decided that I could take it in Nagoya and see my best friend at the same time. So that's what I did, and I had a terrible train ride, which I talked about last week, so I will skip that. But if you're curious about what happened, you can listen to the previous episode, so I'll let you do that. But I arrived in Nagoya. My friend picked me up and we just talked a little bit and then I went to sleep. After the test, I met my friend in Sakai, which for those who don't know, Sakai is like, I would say it's like the Shinjuku of Tokyo, of Nagoya. It's like the main place to go, I think. There's many things to do there. There's Oasis 21. Many events happen there. It's like nightlife. There's the tower. There's so many things to do there. So that's what we did. We went there because, well, for all the things I listed just now, but last year or something, maybe last year, we went to this restaurant, this chicken restaurant called Miwa, I believe. So it's like 3 wheels, that's the kanji. And we found it in underground Sakai near the subway. But they have the best chicken namban ever. It's just the best sauce. It's so tasty. So I love to go there. This is maybe the 3rd time that I've been within a year. It's crazy, but so good. So because I finished this test, obviously that's what I wanted to have. So we went there, we both ordered chicken namban because it's so good. And then after that, we walked to a mall and I think that's what we did. We went to Uniqlo because I wanted some shirts maybe, and my friend wanted some more Arabism shirts. So I actually got Arabism shirts and we both got a cotton shirt, and mine was a creamy color like manila. My friend got red, so that was nice. And then it was very hot in Nagoya, so we got ice cream. We went to Baskin Robbins. There's so many choices at Baskin Robbins, it's insane. But I ended up getting Rocky Road, which was very tasty. And then I think after that we decided to go back to his place. I think we played games. We played, what did we play? We played Rhythm Heaven. That's right. Rhythm Heaven. So it's a fun game. I love it. It was a bit hard to play on his TV. For some reason, it wasn't synced correctly, but that was fixed later. But we played that for a bit, and then we were debating on what to do. Go to an izakaya to drink or go to an onsen. We ended up going to an onsen called Hanashobu. Hanashobu is an onsen that was near our apartment when we were exchange students. But during that time, I was not really a fan of onsen at all. I was freaked out about being naked in front of people. I just was not interested. So I never went then. And my friend hasn't been since he was an exchange student. So it was kind of fun for us to, I had a new experience, and it's been a long time for him to go to this onsen. But what's cool about this onsen is that there is a rock bath that you can go on top of going to the normal onsen. You just have to pay for a ticket on that. So my friend got that all good for that. They give you a bracelet that you can scan in, and it's like a whole town in there. It's crazy. So many things going on, so many different things happening. It was really cool. But we went to the water onsen first, and that was wonderful. They had a really nice carbonated bath. They had just, I don't even know how to explain it, but there was just so many nice baths there, really relaxing. And then we went to the rock area. So first, before you go to that area, you get clothes, special clothes to wear, because both genders can go in. So you can't be naked, obviously. So we dress in our gear, and then we go to the rock baths. And I'm not really good with rock baths or steam, so I'm not in there for that long. So we leave, and then there's this announcement for this performance in a sauna room that only 60 people can enter, and it starts at 10. And we happened to be there at that time. So even though I don't like sauna that much, and I was wondering like how it would be, I ended up going with my friend. It was very interesting. There was basically, before I go into it, I'll preface, or I'll set the scene. So we walk in, it's this big sauna room that 60 people can fit in. You can sit, in the center, there's a square frame, and there's stones, and there's two levels of seats, I guess, so you can sit on the first level or the second level like a normal sauna, I guess. And then 5 university-aged guys come in. They have a special towel, and they explain what's going to go happen. So there's 3 songs that will be performed. Each are 5 minutes. It's 15 minutes. So the first 2 guys start. The other 3 go back outside. And then they bring out this big snowball. And where they got that snowball from was this other room that's a circular shape. It's 5 degrees Celsius in that room. And in the center, there's snow that's falling, and it kind of falls in this chalice-shaped container. So they got the snowball from that, and I think that they put essential oil in it. They then put water on the stones, which then steamed, and then they put this snowball on the rocks as well, and it steamed slower. And then the sun started, and they started spinning these towels like they were spinning pizza, and they were just going around. It was crazy. And what the purpose of this was is when they span the towels, the steam would be directed to the audience. And the smell as well. So I was not really enjoying myself because they were blowing the steam on me. But it was cool to see them spin the towels. They were really cool. And at one point, they passed the towel to the other person that was diagonal from them. And that was really cool. So I managed to stay for one performance. And then the next performance happened, and I could only stay for half of it. I was dying. So I left, and I immediately went to the 5 degrees Celsius room and just chilled there, literally and figuratively. And my friend stayed for the whole performance. But everyone came into the 5 degree Celsius room after. They were all sweating, and I kind of felt like a wimp because I was just there, even though I was only there for 1.5 performances. But they're all saying oh, it's so hot. And yeah, but it was such an interesting experience. that I'm glad I did it, but oh my goodness, it was hilarious. So funny. So if you're ever in Hanashobu at 10 p.m., I highly suggest, if you like saunas or if you want to see a Tao performance, I highly suggest you go there because it's just such a Japan thing. It was so funny. Then the next day, I had the privilege to go to my friend's Catholic church that he goes to. And it's just been nice to hear him talk about the Catholic church that he goes to. And I was able to see it in person. And I really liked it because I like to sing, and there was a lot of singing that was done at that church. And I met the priest after, and he was very kind. I think he's from somewhere in South America, but his Japanese was amazing. And it was just nice to meet him. And I will go there again in 2 months because my friend will be married there very soon. So it was really nice to do that. After, we went to Starbucks, had some lunch, and then we just played some cribbage. For those who don't know what cribbage is, it's a game where you have cards and you have to count to 15. So you have like 4 cards and you have to find pairings that can get to 15, or you can get doubles or runs, and you get points for that. And then you have this board and these little pegs, and you count how many points you get each round. And my friend is so good at crib. His family plays it so much. So I never win. But this time I won. And it was a close game. It was close, but I won. So there was no rematch after that because I knew I wouldn't win after that. But that's what happened. So that was my time in Nagoya. I caught the bus at 4:30 and I arrived in Takayama at 7:15 p.m., which is perfect timing because I had just enough time to go see the Tezuku fireworks. The Tezuku fireworks are a special event in Takayama, and they're handheld fireworks, but not just any handheld fireworks. Like, they're crazy. They'll light up and they'll spray this fire, and then people like carry them like cannons almost. And they are loud. They always scare me. Every time I take videos, I get scared. But it's such a nice experience. So I highly suggest that you go. And after that, I went to the yatai, the food stalls, and there wasn't any. I wanted karaage, fried chicken, but I couldn't find that. So I was looking around, and I saw this. It's called choo-choo pudding, and it is pudding that's in a QP mayonnaise container. So the pudding looks like mayonnaise. If you don't know what QP is, please search it because I can't explain it. But it's a festival food that I've seen in previous festivals, but I've never had it myself. So I thought I would try it. But it's really funny because first of all, it was frozen at the start. So I couldn't like have it immediately. So I'm just like holding it, waiting for it to thaw. And later I find a yakitori stand and they're like asking me like, do you have mayonnaise? And I said, no, it's pudding. And they're like, oh my gosh, it's kind of funny. But yeah, I had yakitori and then I had this delicious pudding. Very good. And that was my weekend. But I had 4 days off because of Obon. So I had 1, 2, 3 days of Obon, or summer vacation, and I also had Yama no Hi, Mountain Day. So I just danced, really. I danced on Tuesday. No, I danced on Thursday. Oh my gosh, I forgot. I was supposed to dance on Tuesday. I was supposed to meet my old teacher, and we were supposed to dance, but I found out that there was actually no dance happening on that day, so we ended up moving it to Friday. And because of that, on the 11th, I was able to go to Kuguno Firework Festival, which is a big thing. I think a lot of people go to this festival, and I've never been before. So I went, and oh my goodness, the fireworks were incredible, but it was loud. I was on top of a mountain looking at the fireworks, and they were so loud, and you can hear it echo. That was kind of cool. But Yeah, once is enough for me. Once was enough. And I immediately caught the train back to my hometown or where I live right now. And I just had a chill night after that. Cut to Thursday. I have so many things happening. I'm going to the gym. And then I'm practicing violin. That's something I started. I I've been playing violin for a while, for 6 years, but recently I haven't played because I've been busy. So I wanted to make it a little kind of goal to practice at least every day. And I've been doing good. So I started practicing violin, and then I read my book, and I just have enough time to put on my yukata. And I mean, only one try. I could not fail. I had no time for that. So I quickly get it on. I meet my friend. I pick her up. We go to Hamazushi to meet my other friends, and I walk in, and it's kind of embarrassing because I'm wearing like full yukata in Hamazushi. But once I sat down, it was okay. I got some food. It was great. And then we made our way to Gujo to dance. And yeah, it wasn't as great as I wanted it to be. It was the first day of Tetsuya, so that's like late night, and it was very busy. It was very difficult to dance. I I wasn't really having a great time. At one point it was fine, and then we ended up taking a break. I lost my friend. She went somewhere, and I met my other friends who we separated with because we were dancing a little bit ahead of them. I met them, and then my friend who I lost contacted us when she got a signal. So I went to get her. We came back together. We got some food. We just had a nice break, and then we went back to dance for a little bit before we really got exhausted. And it was around 11 p.m. by the time we finished. We ended up going back to the car, and we drove back. And to and from, we took the non-toll roads because we wanted to save money. And on the way there, it was beautiful, but on the way back, it was a little bit terrifying. And there were so many deer. And I thank God on high that they did not come running because I wasn't really paying attention. My friend was like, "Oh dear," and I didn't see them at all. It was terrifying. So I really had to drive slowly. We ended up arriving in Takayama around 1:30. I was very tired. And then the next day I worked at the office for 3 hours, and then I just had a little break, and then I met my teacher friend on Friday, and I drove there by myself. I did decide to take the toll roads because it's way too long if you don't take the toll roads to Shirutori, which is near Gujo, but for some reason I don't know. Anyways, the dance itself was really great that time, not as many people, and the Shirutori dance is a lot more fun in my opinion. It's a little bit faster, it's just more fun, and I just felt so free. At one point, there's this kind of difficult dance, but I did it before, so I know it. So I went to the front with these other skilled dancers. I didn't care. I just didn't care about what other people were thinking. I just danced. And it was so fun. I had a great time. And it was nice to see my old teacher, my old coworker. And that was great. And then I drove back, and I was struggling actually to stay awake. I was getting tired, but I just made it home. And that was a great time. I was really happy to dance last weekend. And then the next day, I went to the town that I'm living in. It has a festival in August, and I went, and it was amazing. I was so impressed with the decorations that they had. When I went last year, it was so rainy, and it was just in a different location altogether. It was just not good. But this time, it rained a little bit later, and I'll talk about that later. But I walk, and I see it's in this parking lot that's quite open. They have these beautiful lanterns. They have a lot of stalls for food and for fun. They have a stage where the brass band was playing, and there's other stuff happening there too. There's a haunted mansion. that was really well designed. I was very impressed. The first thing I did, I was a little bit hungry, so I went to get yakitori. They're so good. So I got 5 skewers and I ate that. And I saw many of my students that are currently at my school and students that have graduated. Saw so many students and it was really great to see them. I saw a little bit of the brass band play and they did amazing. And then I decided to do the Haunted Mansion. And usually last year when I did it, I was able to go with some students. But this time I went by myself. No one wanted to go with me, which is kind of sad. But I went by myself and I didn't scream, which is great. But I did jump a little bit because it's a little bit scary. But I think my students, my previous students, were the ones that were trying to scare me. So I think they had a great time. And then I was in line to get fries, but then I saw that they were sold out. So then I was in line, the same line, to get fried chicken. But I had 2 students in front of me that were like my third years 2 years ago. So I was talking with them, blah, blah, blah. And he wanted chicken as well. And by the time he came, there was only 1 chicken left. So I gave it to him. I'm such a nice teacher. But I didn't want to like leave the line because I was in there for a long time. So I got a nice blue Hawaiian, which I've never had before. It was delicious. And then I went into another line to get yakisoba. So, and I did get yakisoba, hallelujah for that. And I sat down at a table where no one was sitting in, and I was eating my yakisoba. And then this old guy comes and sits down right in front of me, and he starts talking to me, which is great. I love talking. But he was like wondering like why I was there. He was wondering why there was a foreigner in Ichinomiya. And so I'm telling him like I work at Miya. I work as a teacher there. And he was like, oh, like that's so cool. And he's like, are you drinking? And I said, no, I drove. And he's like, why did you drive here? Like you can walk. You should drink. Next time, let's drink. So that was really funny. He was so kind. He might have been in his 70s or so, but he was so kind. Really fun to talk to. But during our talk, the hanabi, the fireworks were happening, and I was under a tent, so I couldn't see them, and I could hear them, but I couldn't see them, and I wanted to see them, but I was talking to him, so I couldn't leave. That was a bit unfortunate, but alas, I had a good conversation. And then finally, the thing that I was waiting for the most, the Miya dance. There's a dance that Miya has. It's not a bonodori, but it is a special dance. And I did it a little bit during the Undokai practice. I was able to participate, but I wanted to do it again. But of course, with my luck, right when I started, it started pouring rain. And by pouring, I mean that my glasses were covered in water droplets I could not see. So we only did one run through before they stopped. Everybody went under the tent. And a few minutes after that, I just decided to leave. Yeah. So that was my Bon Odori, Bon Yasumi. I had a great time. And even though today I was a little bit frustrated with cleaning and I was sweaty as well. I think it's good to clean before you start something new. I always like to clean. And I feel like refreshed in a way. So I'm ready for tomorrow. I'm ready for this week. I'm ready to see my coworkers again. Yeah. And I'm excited to talk about what happens this week, next week. Yes. So I hope that you also had a great Bon Yasumi if you were in Japan. I'm not too sure what long holidays are in August in Canada, but I'm pretty sure that, Alberta Day will be in August, and also Labor Day will be coming soon as well. So I hope then, my friends in Canada, my family and friends, that you can have a wonderful time back home as well. But until then, I will see you later.